I sat at the head of the long mahogany dining table, the weight of the day sinking into my bones. The golden glow of the chandelier cast soft shadows against the polished wood, and the clinking of silverware and low murmurs of conversation filled the room. Liam, my son, sat across from me, his face animated as he recounted some story to his fiancée Rachel. She leaned into him, laughing, her engagement ring catching the light. The sight should have warned me it was supposed to. This dinner was meant to celebrate their upcoming wedding, a rare peaceful gathering of family, before the chaos of planning took over. Yet beneath the warmth something nodded me. A shadow lurked at the edge of the evening, unseen but felt like the first crack in a perfect mirror. Then Liam's voice cut through the soft din. "Dad, there's something we need to talk about." I set down my fork, my gaze steady. "Go ahead." His expression hardened resolved, tightening his jaw. "Why didn't you invite Uncle Mark to the wedding?" The name hit like a stone in my gut. The table fell silent. Even the soft scrape of Rachel's knife against her plate ceased. My grip tightened around my glass, but my face remained impassive. "You know why I said evenly?" Liam shook his head. "I don't. And I think it's wrong. He's family." A pulse of something dark flickered through me. I glanced at my wife, Emma, sitting stiffly beside me, her nails digging into her napkin. Liam pressed on. "I get that you two had a falling out. But it's been years. Whatever happened, it's time to move past it." Rachel nodded hesitantly, her voice softer. "Family is family no matter what." My chest constricted. Family. That word so simple, so damning. I exhaled slowly, then reached into my jacket pocket, pulling out a folded letter. Without a word, I slid it across the table toward Liam. "Read it." Liam frowned but picked it up, unfolding the yellowed paper. His eyes skimmed the page. Then his expression shifted. The color drained from his face. His breath hitched. I watched as his fingers trembled, as his throat worked around words that wouldn't come. Rachel peered over his shoulder, her brows knitting together. "Liam. What is it?" He didn't answer. He just stared at me, something broken in his gaze. Emma reached for my hand under the table. Her grip was iron. "Liam," I said, my voice quiet but firm. "Say it." His lips parted, barely a whisper. "Uncle Mark is actually my father." Rachel inhaled sharply. The room seemed to shrink, the walls pressing in. The air itself thickened, suffocating silence stretched taut and suffocating. Then Liam slammed the letter onto the table. "This is a joke, right?" His voice was sharp, cracking. I shook my head no. His breath came faster now, chest rising and falling unevenly. "Then, explain right now." The past clawed its way up my throat. I swallowed it down, but it refused to stay buried. I ran a hand over my face. "You were never supposed to find out this way. But it's true." His voice was thin, desperate. "Mark, he's my real dad." Emma whispered his name, but he pulled away from her touch, eyes locked onto me. "Yes," I said. "Mark is your biological father." Liam pushed back from the table so fast his chair scraped against the hardwood. He stood abruptly, pacing his hands on his head. "Jesus Christ." He let out a bitter laugh. "And you just raised me like I was yours. Lied to me my whole damn life." "I am your father," I said, voice low. He whirled, eyes blazing. "No, you pretended to be." "And Mom," he turned to Emma, his voice breaking. "You let him." Tears shimmered in her eyes. "Liam, please. It's not that simple." "Not that simple." He laughed again, hollow, shaking his head. I stood, my heart hammering against my ribs. "You want the truth?" Fine, I stepped forward. He didn't back away. Your mother and I were engaged when it happened. Mark, he was always reckless, always selfish. He thought the world owed him something. One night he took something that wasn't his to take. Liam's breath hitched. His gaze snapped to Emma, horror dawning in his eyes. Number. His voice was barely a whisper. Emma let out a strangled sob. I reached for her, but she recoiled, covering her face with her hands. My throat burned, but I forced the words out. He wasn't supposed to come back into our lives. I made sure of it. But then you grew up asking about him, wanting to know your uncle. I let him in because I thought I could control it. Because I didn't want you to grow up hating someone without knowing why. Liam was shaking now, his entire body coiled with rage, grief, something raw and uncontrollable. You should have told me, he rasped. You should have told me the truth, instead of feeding me a lie. I let out a breath. You were a child. How could I tell you that? Your real father was a monster. Liam's expression twisted, something inside him fracturing beyond repair. And what about now? His voice rose, fury bleeding through every syllable. Were you ever going to tell me? Or was I just supposed to live in the dark forever? I stepped closer. I was trying to protect you. He let out a harsh, broken sound. Protect me? His fists clenched. You stole my entire identity. You built my life on a lie and expected me to be grateful. I could see it, his world crumbling, the foundation of everything he thought he knew, turning to dust. Rachel stood reaching for him. Liam, let's... But he jerked away. His eyes were wild, his breath ragged. Then in one violent motion, he grabbed the letter and threw it across the room. The paper fluttered, landing in the untouched remains of our dinner. Go to hell, he spat, his voice shaking. Then he turned and stormed out, the front door slamming so hard the walls trembled. Emma collapsed into her chair, silent sobs racking her body. I stood frozen, my pulse hammering in my ears. Rachel lingered by the door, torn between following him and staying. She glanced at me, her face unreadable. Finally, she whispered, I don't know if he'll forgive you. Then she turned and left. The house felt empty. The weight of what I had done, of what I had hidden, settled onto my chest, suffocating. I looked at Emma, her face streaked with tears. I did what I thought was right, I said, my voice hollow. She wiped at her face, her hands trembling. And look where it got us. The chandelier above flickered. The warmth of the evening was gone, replaced by something colder, something final. I closed my eyes. And for the first time in years, I wasn't sure if I had truly saved my son, or if I had just lost him forever.